Shabbat Shalom, family. It's good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Well, man, New York got hit with some heavy rain. It only took a half hour to flood the city. A half hour, y'all. And unfortunately, two people lost their lives, one in a basement, and the other person, I believe, died in a boiler room. So there were two fatalities. This struck at a time when it was really busy in the city. It happened around 4 p.m. on a rush hour, and everything in the city is like crazy. So you have a combination of kids coming home from school, people coming home from work, and the streets were filled with water. And I even saw Bed-Stuy, do or die, was underwater. I'm like, what, Bed-Stuy? Yes, yes. So the parts of the city that got hit the hardest was Flatbush, Hollis, Queens, parts of Bushwick, East Flushing. It got flooded around LaGuardia Airport. Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, and Manhattan were all impacted by this flash flood. So it caused a lot of problems. It really brought the city down to its knees because it became paralyzed in New York City. So you're about to see all of this flooding. Boy, the Most High ain't letting up on anybody up in here. He ain't letting up on no one. You hear me? It just seems like this was a really bad year for floods in the US. This was a pretty horrific year. So let me go ahead. Shabbat Shalom to everybody in the chat. I'm going to share my screen so we can get started. And this happened at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. That's like crazy for a place like New York. Okay, y'all. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
Come through now. Never seen them. Yeah, and you got an old person on there. Why you risking them?
Because they cause a traffic. But and it's nothing happening over here. Like the water is
Let's bring in meteorologist Michael Estime live this morning in New York City. Michael, we're talking about Hurricane Melissa because it might have been hundreds of miles away, but our atmosphere very efficient at transporting moisture, and that's exactly what we saw yesterday. That was one of the things that stood out to me. What else stood out to you?
Yeah, Stephen and Marissa, good morning to you both. It was incredible to see literally that moisture stream from Melissa interacting with our boundary along the East Coast, and that is what just helped to super soak parts of not just the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, but Marissa and Stephen, as you guys mentioned, what a tragic day yesterday, learning of at least 2 victims due to the flooding that we saw. That 39-year-old man, again, I can't even imagine being in your basement and unfortunately succumbing to the flooding that we saw yesterday. And when you talk about how much rain we picked up, by the way, in less than an hour, we picked up over an inch of rain. In fact, at LaGuardia Airport, it was just over an inch in 50 minutes. So a lot of rain in a condensed period of time, unfortunately, led to scenes like what you're seeing there. All throughout Brooklyn, we were seeing reports of literally cars submerged up to their wheel wells. There were transportation delays. We're talking 3 to 4 hour delays at all 3 major airports. So that's what happened yesterday. Most of that moisture now well up toward our north. On the back end of it, we talked about how this area of low pressure is actually going to strengthen, and as it does so, it's going to pump in some serious winds. We're talking wind advisories going into effect at lunchtime today, staying in effect until midnight tonight, and it happens to be Halloween evening, right? This is when the kiddos want to go trick-or-treating. Where we are right now, we're on the West Side Highway of Manhattan. We're right on the Hudson River, and you can see the river behind me is much more agitated, and you can notice that with the big old waves behind me. I have a little anemometer in my hand too, and we've been measuring the winds since this morning, and we started this morning with winds between 5 to 15 miles per hour. Those winds as of current are at 20 to 25 miles per hour sustained, gusting a little higher than that, right on the water at times. And guys, we're expecting these gusts upwards of 45 to possibly even 50 miles per hour. So not just a problem for the trick-or-treaters, right? But also if you are going to be taking off, can you imagine taking off and landing at LaGuardia, JFK, or Newark Liberty International Airport with 40 to 50 mile per hour winds? Not just that, but also, as you know, when you have winds like that, it's not necessarily strong enough to bring down entire trees themselves, but certainly tree limbs onto power lines. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we saw a couple power spotty outages because of those winds this evening. Next big question is, all right, we're going to be fighting through the winds. When do these winds die down? That doesn't really happen until tomorrow afternoon. So Saturday afternoon, just in time for the New York City Marathon. I believe that's tomorrow. I need to double check, but I've certainly seen people preparing for it. It's Sunday rather, so at least by Sunday for the New York City Marathon, I think that things will be a lot more relaxed in terms of those winds. But guys, in the meantime, one last thing I want to talk about for 2 seconds. See those big beautiful buildings behind me? What sometimes happens in Manhattan is you get this squeeze play that takes place where the winds start rushing through these buildings, and it's that squeezing of the air that sends those winds at a much higher rate of speed, just meaning, guys, that channeling effect is going to cause some big time hair issues if you have any dinner plans tonight. Just a heads up if you do plan on being out and about, not just here, but in the Northeast through this afternoon and this evening, because it will be windy at least through midnight into early Saturday morning. Guys?
I will agree with you, Michael, that they are beautiful buildings, but given what else we see in New York, I don't know if they're big. Are they big? I mean, they're
the buildings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones he just showed us. I'm just thinking the Empire State.
There are taller. There are taller.
It's wild though, Michael, in Manhattan. It's so true, that wind effect that happens. You get that funnel, and then especially when it becomes a west wind or a northwest wind.
Yeah, it can be vicious.
Feel the bite.
You know, Chicago also has similar instances where you get these big wind events where people have to brace themselves, right, for the strong wind. It's It can be scary.
It can be.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to feel later this afternoon. Glad you mentioned the peak wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. Hopefully on Sunday for the marathon, the winds will be easing. It'll be cooler, but it's great for the runners.
Yeah.
Now, y'all, I want y'all to picture in your head Hurricane Melissa is in the Caribbean, but enough moisture from Melissa traveled up the East Coast and hit New York City. So it just goes to show you can get a lot of damage from a hurricane, and sometimes the hurricane ain't even near you. Okay. And that's what happened. And that's how New York City got flooded, just from moisture traveling up the East Coast did this to New York City. So, like I said, anything the Most High put out here and he created and engineered, you can see how terrifying it can be. For real. Let's go on.
Michael Estimé, we got you all morning, so we'll be checking in again. Appreciate it. Thank you, Michael, in New York City this morning.
Wow. Oh my God, this one's going into the store. Yeah. Oh shit.
Come, Taylor. Look how deep. It's about 2-3 Baby, she's scared. Let me go over there. I gotta go in. Taylor, come. Mama, come on. Oh, bro, look where it's up to. My whole foot. Oh my baby. The floors are done. I can't even open the door in here. Fuck, my feet are frozen. Oh my God, my feet are frozen. I gotta get off.
We're learning tonight at least one person has died from the flash floods as water poured into their basement. This is the scene in New York City. Drivers sitting on their trapped cars while others run away from rushing waters. Flash flood warnings issued with officials urging drivers to avoid waterlogged roads. But the subway is also a mess, water streaming through the ceilings of the station in Brooklyn as commuters try to make it home. And scary moments in New Jersey. This is why a young girl rescued from a flooded car, a massive tree falling on this Bergen County home as well.
New York woke up underwater. In just a few hours, torrential rain turned Brooklyn's streets into rivers, flooding homes, cars, and even parts of the subway. Authorities confirmed 2 people have died after flash floods struck basement apartments overnight. Rescue teams waded through waist-deep water, pulling residents to safety as emergency sirens echoed through the city. Cars floated down major avenues, while subway stations filled with rushing water, paralyzing one of the busiest cities in the world. The heaviest damage was reported in Brooklyn and Queens, where homes and power lines were hit hard. City officials are calling it one of the worst flash floods in recent memory, warning that extreme weather events like this are becoming more frequent. Cleanup is just beginning, and more rain could still come. What do you think? Is New York prepared for storms like this, or are we still underestimating climate risks? Share your thoughts in the comments.
DJ King Flow. Mixtape addict.
Back when they did backspins while battling, I was daydreaming about rapping and fashions. As time passed, the thirst only grew more. Started off, now when I speak. Wow. Let it go. There's no coming back out.
Yo, I'm literally stuck in that building. Like, I can't get out of the building, y'all. I literally can't get out of the building. What is the front door? Fuck? What just happened? I'm trying to figure out why the fuck the elevator didn't come to my door. Oh my fucking god. This don't look good. Yo, oh my gosh. My whole building is acting wrong. Oh my god. I guess the fucking laundry room is out here. Okay, it's not wet in here. Oh my gosh, guys. This is some crazy shit. How long y'all think it's gonna take them to fix this? Because I don't like the fucking wall. And I don't like to take the stairs that much. They need to come down here, fix this shit. It's like a waterfall. Like, where's the water coming from though? Because the elevator's not working upstairs. So where's the water coming from? Like, look outside. Like, this is just, oh my gosh. What the fuck? I can't get out the, what the, I just came home. Oh. I just came home 20 minutes ago. Like, this garage leads to the street that's by that door that I just, what the fuck just happened?
We all know that climate change has brought us these crazy rainstorms that our infrastructure was never designed to deal with. The four most intense storms in New York City's history have taken place in the last 4 years. And yesterday, what caused all the flooding was the fact that we had 1 minutes. That's about a 6-inch per hour rate. Our sewers are designed for 1.75 inches per hour.
I'm on Halsey and Troop now. Halsey and Troop trying to get home. Can't get home. Everybody's trying to clean out the little vents that the water go down. Check it out. I'm out of B26 on Halsey and Troop. Amazing. Look at this. Amazing. Amazing. I never seen anything like it.
Utica Avenue, Brooklyn, Biggie Banton reporting. Watch the water. Lord, like never before. Look on the link now. Look on the water. Look on the water. Lord, look at. Utica flood out. Look there. Look on the lady. Look where water reach. School bus, everything turn boat. Float me a float. But me say if everybody over here so want any ride. Go pick up somebody else.
Anybody can hear me. I don't see that moving. Here we go. Y'all, just when you thought Melissa couldn't touch the East Coast, it showed us she can touch the East Coast from the Caribbean. That's what she can do. So I tell you what, that's the power of the heavenly right here. So they mentioned Bergen County. Bergen County is actually in New Jersey, but it neighbors New York, and they got hit too. So parts of New Jersey got hit by this thing as well. So y'all, I was going to show you this yesterday, but I had forgotten Queen Amadaya had invited me on her panel. So that's when I had to kind of push it back until today. So y'all, look, be careful out here. Just know these rain showers come and you could be out and about, and then in a blink, everything around you is flooded. This only took 30 minutes to happen in New York City. 30 minutes. Can you imagine if the full hurricane hit them? You only got a small remnant, a piece of it. If the whole thing would have hit, it's no telling how high that water would be right now. So Melissa is supposed to veer east. It's not supposed to travel up the East Coast. It's supposed to go out into the ocean. But I tell you what, it towed the Caribbean up. Everything got touched. The Turks and Caicos, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Jamaica got the really worst of it, Cuba, and the Bahamas all got hit by Melissa. All left damaged by Melissa. And now you can count in New York City and parts of New Jersey. So y'all, stay prayed up in these final days because it's about to get crazy. Somebody wrote, I'm sorry, it went by so fast. Let me see if I can get you back. Somebody wrote something about 3-Eye Atlas, and y'all, they're saying that 3-Eye Atlas didn't go behind the sun, it went above the sun. And someone that had a telescope took an image of it, and you can see something right above the sun. They said that was 3-Eye Atlas sitting above the sun. I said, that sun ain't even impacting it. If anything, it's probably giving it more energy. So it's still not acting in a manner that they see as normal. But I notice the scientist at Avi Loeb is now saying it's a comet. And I think the only reason why he's doing that, y'all, is because they're trying to silence him from saying it's alien technology, or he got paid off. But now he is sitting around saying, oh, it's nothing but a comet. And we know that's not a comet. Comet don't behave that way. And it certainly doesn't sit above the sun. Okay. Comets don't do that. So I guess that's trying to lessen the blow. And China also turned their probes off, just like NASA did. China did the same thing. And you can find the articles out about China switching everything off too. And you don't do that for a comet. So y'all, I will see you at 1:45. The Bible study is going to be a little earlier than normal. And also remember, this is the first Sunday in November, which means clocks will be going back an hour tomorrow. Clocks will be going back 1 hour. So you know what's going to happen at 4:30. We're going to be in the dark, especially if you're on the East Coast. We're going to be in the dark at 4:30. So I will see you then. If I don't see you, please enjoy the rest of your day. Shabbat Shalom, family.